Good evening, Steve.
Hello.
Hello, Steve.
Oh, hi, Ian. Yeah, I was going to say this subject a few days ago when I heard people talking about, the sexes and all the rest of it, men and women and all that. Yes. It seems to be men, a lot of man bashing in the last 30 years. But yeah, I was going to say about.
Hang on. What, Matt? Give us an example, because I don't know what you mean. Give us an example of man bashing from the last 30 years.
Well, I wanted to go on the other thing, really, but
bet you did.
Yeah, last 30 years on programmes like This Morning with Judy Finnegan, always putting men down.
Well, give me we're narrowing it down. Give me an example of Judy Finnegan on This Morning putting men down.
There's thousands.
Give me one. I don't want thousands. I just want one. Pick one.
I can't. All right, then there was a dog once. There was a dog there. She had a dog on the show.
Yes.
And she actually said, I was watching the show once, a long time ago, about 20 years, and she actually said, well, what do you expect? It's a man. And because it's a male dog.
Fair play.
That's how bad she was. That's how I knew her as yeah.
Well, but what?
But then again, she is. No, I'm not going to say it.
No, don't, because I was going to do a nice clip that we could have videoed.
Start
then.
again.
No, you can't. I like Richard. I can't have you slagging off Richard. No, here's but do you not think that women have been getting the same treatment, if not worse, for longer?
Well, it shouldn't be all around treatment, so that's how they've reversed it then. So that's why we've had 30 years of man bashing. But can I just say this other thing, Ian?
Well,
it's like
but that's an example from 20 years ago, 30 years of hurt. But what recent? Because this is quite a serious point. If there is some validity in this, then this is quite a serious point. Give me another example. Because I could counter your Judy Finnegan accusation with Essex Girls jokes. They're from about the same period.
Yeah, well, you could say about the Irish jokes or whatever as well.
But we're talking about. Well, okay,
Essex jokes is done with fun.
Judy's comment about, well, what do you expect? It's a male dog. I don't think she she left punch in the sky, high-fiving her lesbian sisters, going, yeah, that's another nail in the coffin for mankind.
I think you'll be surprised there, Ian.
I know.
That's why presenters like maybe yourself are on today, all this new man stuff. But the main reason I've
hang on, we'll get to the main reason, but you keep just throwing me a little crumb, and I eat it, and I want more crumbs, and you try and move on. So I'm on telly, possibly, because of this new man stuff. I don't know what that means.
Well, maybe you retain your job because you bow to the people at the top of the pyramid, and if you didn't, you'd soon be gone.
Who are the people at the top of the pyramid? Women, Jews, gays? Who?
Oh, well, you said a bit of it all. Actually, I would say man haters and the rest of the people you just mentioned.
So the top of the pyramid is populated by man haters. Women,
in general, yeah.
Zionists,
yes,
and homosexuals.
You got it. And I've got nothing against anyone as long as they don't hate other people. No. But a lot of them do seem to hate.
Well, no. Here's the thing. I don't know if you know about gay men. They don't hate men. They literally bum men.
We're not talking about sexual, not at the moment anyway, until my next subject, if you let me.
Let's go on to the next subject, because my brain is fizzing here. It's like hell's a popping in my head.
It might be a bit too much for you, Ian.
Yeah, I think it might be, because I'm stupid. I'm too busy bowing down in front of the gay Jewish lesbians.
Kiss it.
Basically, carrying on from the messed up world we live in,
yes,
you are not allowed to look too long at an attractive girl, or certainly not whistle. But we have shows like Naked Attraction, where young people show all their bits.
Yep.
You got Jeremy Kyle on in the morning talking about blowjobs in front of 9-year-old kids or whatever who are home.
Well, I wouldn't let my kids watch. First of all, he doesn't use the word blowjobs, but secondly, I wouldn't let my kids watch Jeremy Kyle.
Okay, well, he talked about it got off with the mother, and someone's got off with the mother and the daughter and the grandma together.
Yeah.
Some young guy.
Oh, it's a terrible programme, yeah.
Male or female is watching that, you know.
Yeah.
And then you got things like Geordie Shore where they're having it off. Yeah, you can't comment. You can't say, "Cool, look at those legs on a girl." Do you see where I'm getting at?
I do see what you're getting at. We live in a time of very conflicting messages. Now, you first think you can't whistle at women because that is aggressive. That is an act of aggression.
But women do it to guys, though, don't they?
No.
women, it's around the other way. This is what's happened.
No, they don't.
Everything's gone round. Yeah, they do. They go, cool, what I'd do with him, and they even say it in front of their partner.
Well, when?
Which I think is disrespectful.
When have you seen this?
I see it out and about.
When?
I see it on programmes.
Give me an example.
What I want to do with that. You're trying to tell me you've never seen a woman do that.
Give me an example of where you've seen it.
On TV all the time.
One example. Well, if it's all the time, then I'm sure it does happen. I'm sure it does happen. I just want one example so I can kind of focus in on it. What TV programme have you seen it on?
Oh, too many to mention.
You've only got to mention one. You haven't got to mention them all.
Oh God!
Almost as if you can't think of any. Okay, go back to pubs.
No,
so you've heard.
Too many. There's too many.
There's too many, of course. So you can't pick one. So you go back to pubs.
If I said I saw it on the internet, someone would say, "Oh, all he gets his information from the internet."
Mate, you can see all kinds of. Catherine, I'll bring you in a second. Don't you worry, mate. You can see all kinds of things. You can see people eating each other's feces on the internet. Doesn't mean it's a regular occurrence, right? So it happens in pubs, right? Women say, "Cool, what I'd like to do to him," right? But so you're saying
if it was the other way around, it'd be disgusting, wouldn't it?
Well, no, you're saying you don't say that in pubs?
I said I've seen it.
No, but you're saying you don't. Who's stopping you from saying it in pubs? Who's stopping you from leaning over to a friend?
The PC brigade. The people you're talking about at the top. They don't like
the Jews, the gays, and the women. Who's stopping you from leaning over to your friend in a pub?
They don't stop me.
Let me finish. Who's stopping you from leaning over to your friends in a pub and saying quietly, so that no one else hears, "Don't look now, Tony, but that girl working behind the bar is absolutely stunning"? Who's stopping you doing that?
No one's
right. So what's the problem? So what's the problem?
I'm thinking of other people because I'm good like that, Ian.
Forget other people. Other people make their own decisions. Yeah. If you're doing it quietly so only your friend can hear, how do you know that other people aren't doing it quietly so only their friend can hear? If you were to say it, if, for example, Sam was in the studio with me and, Catherine went out and I said, "Kath looks really beautiful tonight," right? That's it's a little bit creepy, but that's kind of all right. But if Catherine was in the studio with me and Sam and in earshot of Catherine, I went to Sam, "Cool, Sam, have a look at Kath. She's looking fit tonight." And Kath heard it. Can you not understand why that... And we'll get Catherine's view in a minute, because by sheer coincidence, we've got a woman here. Can you not understand why that could be seen... I'm glad about that. Could you not understand... And we'll find out where she sits on the pyramid. Could you not understand how that could be seen as quite intimidating to someone?
But no, sorry, I was thinking about other things then.
Of course you were. You've got lots to go. If I were to lean over to Sam, within earshot of Catherine, for example, and said, "Cool, Catherine looks fit, man. What I'd like to do to that." And Catherine heard it
the other way round. That's what.
No. But I'm saying, can you not understand why that would not be intimidating to the woman that we were with? That if they heard us using sexual language about what we would like to do to them, that would be intimidating, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it be intimidating to a bloke?
Well, answer the question, then we'll come on to that. That would be intimidating.
It depends on the girl, I think.
So if she's if she's like a nice, normal, middle class person, that could be intimidating. If she's a bit of a slapper, that would be all right.
That's your word, Ian. I don't use that word.
Well, what word do you use?
You're listening to me. You're trying to twist everything.
I'm not. I'm trying to narrow it down because you're being too vague. Forget the PC Brigade. The PC Brigade aren't involved in this show. They don't listen to this show. Right?
I don't think there's anything wrong going, "Cool, she's all right," to your friend.
No, I don't.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the woman saying, "Cool, he's all right."
Well, then what's your problem?
My problem is the mainstream media that are pushing this transgender agenda.
Wow. You did a quantum leap, dude.
In children's books.
They're not pushing...
None
right.
Stop.
Steve, you've just put down one book and picked up a Blu-ray. You're gone on a completely different subject.
If you let me talk...
No, I'm letting you talk, but... No, I'm trying to let you talk, Steve, but the thing is...
I've got nothing against these people, but what I'm saying is it's being pushed to the max, and people are getting fed up with it. And there'll be thousands and thousands of people listening to me that will agree with me.
Yeah, and they're all bigots and arseholes like you. Now, here's the thing. No, because you've done...
You're the biggest bigot saying that.
No, I'm not.
You're trying to destroy freedom of speech. I'm far from a bigot.
Here's the thing, Stephen. First of all, freedom of speech is a myth. You know that, don't you? Freedom of speech is a myth.
No.
Well, I'll tell you.
You can say what you want. You can't stop someone thinking what they say.
No, I can stop you speaking now. I've stopped you speaking now. And I'll explain. If you listen, I'll explain. And also, me calling you an arsehole, that's my freedom of speech, isn't it?
Yeah, but
right, fine. So shut your mouth. Now,
say it. But you're wrong.
Well, okay. Here's the reason why freedom of speech doesn't exist, particularly on radio.
My freedom of speech. You cried like a baby, like a right wuss in the jungle, didn't you? What a wuss! I've never seen such a wuss. But carry on.
I had to do it because my Zionist, lesbian, gay paymasters told me to cry. Otherwise, I wouldn't get £45,000.
Yeah, I'll believe that.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, it's true. Oh God, I
believe that.
Oh, it's true. I had so many Jews and homosexuals telling me you've got to cry, boy. Otherwise, you're not going to get your paycheck.
Well, it's funny how you got the Jews and homosexuals, and I didn't even mention that. You said it first.
Yeah, and you agreed with me.
You obviously believe some of that.
No, not at all. I just know the kind. I just know the kind of bullshit that arseholes like you come out with. Now, would you let me finish?
But you're the biggest arsehole going. It showed, and that's why no one liked you in the jungle.
That's why I came third. So a lot of people like me. Now, if you
that was false. That was fixed. Your Zionist paymasters did that.
Okay, you're right. So here's the reason freedom of speech doesn't exist on the radio. Can I at least explain that? Because you're an intelligent bloke. You'll get this, right? You cannot phone up a radio station and say libelous stuff. Do you know what libel is?
Of course I do.
Okay.
I've not said nothing libelous. I've got nothing against gays, transgender people, or anything like that. But I'm fed up with.
Can I finish making the point? The gays pushing stuff down your throat. Okay, good, great. So I haven't said you said
you
it.
Like that.
You love it. I didn't say that you said anything libelous, but you can't phone up a radio station and you can't use Class A swear words. And you can't libel. So those are just the rules of broadcasting, not the rules of talk radio. Okay. Those are the rules of broadcasting. So already...
Can you say Zionist and Israel as well?
Yes, you can. So...
can you? Because a lot of people don't like to mention Zionist and Israel because you're called anti-Semite if you say that. The anti-Semite is Arabs. Arabs are the most.
Okay, Stephen, you can accuse Israel of being Zionist. Of course you can. That's not anti-Semitic.
Can I accuse them of being cowardly murderers as well that murder Palestinians?
Yeah, sure. You can accuse them of that, mate. Isn't it amazing what you can say? Isn't that amazing what you can say? Right. So here's the thing, right? So the fact that you can't swear and the fact that you can't libel on air instantly shows you that there are restrictions on free speech, and if there are restrictions on free speech doesn't exist on radio, okay?
Swearing's fair enough. I haven't swore once.
No, but listen, you're not listening to what I'm saying. Free speech on a phone-in radio show does not exist.
Well, it should do if you're not swearing.
No, it doesn't, because there are laws.
Anything nasty, then it should be all right.
No, there are laws. The free speech is hindered by the fact you can't swear and you can't libel people. You can talk all around,
and I'm not libelled anyone.
God, you're stupid. You're so stupid. I'm not saying...
No,
I'm not
you're stupid.
No.
I'll tell you what, not many people call me stupid. You must be stupid to call me stupid.
No. You're actually displaying incredible stupidity.
The word stupid. I mean, I could see you in the jungle. You couldn't get half the bloody things right.
Well, I was the only person that got all of the stars on a one-person trial. If we want to argue about a reality TV show that was fixed by the Jews. Anyway...
Yeah.
You're being really stupid because you can't grasp the very simple concept I'm explaining to you, that free speech on a phone-in radio show doesn't work.
I want you to ring up to say my opinions on things. You're just interrupting, but carry on.
Okay, well, can you at least acknowledge what I'm saying to you? That free speech on a phone-in radio show doesn't exist because there are impositions that you can't swear and you can't be libelous. Have you got that?
Oh, well, you knew I got that, like about 5 minutes ago.
I don't know it, Steve. I don't know it because you go off on tangents. All right. Now, tell me one children's book that thrusts transgender and LGBT rights down their throats. Because I've got kids and I've read a lot of kids' books and I've not read one that's been thrusting transgender issues down their throats. I'd love to read it.
Oh, come on. Look at the supermarkets who want to sell dresses to boys. I mean, come on.
No, Steve, focus. Steve, I'm going to make you focus.
No.
I'm going to make you focus. I'm going to make you focus on one thing, because what you do is you say something, and as soon as I try and dissect it, you move on to something else. So I'm going to make you focus on this. I'm going to make you. I'm going to make you focus. TV. You have said that children's books force transgender and LGBT issues down their throats. Name one of those books.
There's a pamphlet.
No. You said books.
I've seen.
You said books. Name one of those books.
What's the name got to do with it?
Because they don't exist, Stephen. They don't exist. You've made it up.
Well, I ask your listeners to Google it.
No. You've come on with the argument that there are loads of books. Well, tell me one. Tell me one book. You couldn't name a TV programme. You came up with a pathetic excuse of women putting down men. You can't name one kid's book.
I'll tell you one. It's called Israeli Mossad.
Right. My 8-year-olds are not reading books called Israeli Mossad since 9/11. That's not in.
Yeah, did 9/11.
Yeah, that's not in the primary school library, Steve.
And the first title of it is by deception thou shalt make war.
Steve,
that's Israeli Mossad's motto.
Steve,
that's why they did 9/11 and 7/7 and take part in all these
smoking weed. Stop smoking weed.
State-run.
Okay.
Hope state-run terror campaigns.
And back to what we were talking about. Name one children's. Back to what we were talking about before you went off on another paranoid stoner ramble. Name one children's book that forces or even promotes transgender. Name one children's book, Steve. You said there were hundreds. Let's just have one.
There's been maybe a book. I don't know. I don't want to accuse anyone. But
name one. Name one.
I can't think.
No, you can't, Steve, because you can't because you listen
Google
to.
It. Google it.
No, I'm not going to bother because they don't exist. Listen, you listen to right-wing idiots. You listen.
Your listeners are hearing things.
You listen to right-wing idiots
in the papers
Steve,
and in all sorts of things.
Steve, you're pathetic. You're pathetic. You listen.
You're pathetic.
You keep throwing back.
You can't win.
Well, I've won. I won about 20 minutes ago. You listen to
your viewers to ring in and say if you've won.
We don't have viewers. Your listeners. All right, Jesus, do you want me to? All right, hang on, stay there. Let's go. Okay, let's say. Bill.
I'll get your Zionist friends to ring in, though,
okay, so you won't believe them. You won't believe them if they tell you. Right. Here's the thing, right, Steve. You are a nasty little racist, homophobic bigot with a tiny penis.
You're an idiot.
Go and listen to John Gorn. Go and listen to John Gorn. Go and listen to Tommy Robinson. Go and listen to Raheem Kassam. Go and listen to those people who are stirring up all of this shit in the world, and they are scaring you. They are scaring you. You are insane. You are a nasty piece of work, and your time here is done. Thanks very much for calling, Stephen. I'll have you know, Stephen, that if I'd not cried on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, I wouldn't have got a cheque for £45,000. Let me tell you, when my Zionist paymasters tell me to dance, then boy, oh boy, do I dance. And they're telling me to go to the break now. Yes, Steve?
Oh, you're back, Ian.
I didn't go anywhere, mate. I'm here until 1 o'clock. You're back, and not for much longer.
Good. I'm so glad, because that last guy that's a moron himself wanted to call me a moron and everything. Put him on. I'll tell you the name of that children's book that you wanted to know.
You're a nasty piece of work, aren't you, Steve?
you are so wrong, Ian. You're a lousy judge of character.
No.
Is that all you're going to do? Swap insults?
No, because the thing is, we're not swapping insults. I insult you, then you repeat the insult back to me. What's this children's book?
Yeah, because it's in psychology we call it projection, and that's what you're doing.
They call it what? Sorry.
In psychology, we call that projection, and that's what you're doing.
And where did you study?
You're projecting what you are.
Where did you? No, you are. Where did you study psychology, Steve?
Oh, I've done it for years, mate. Just because I might mix up my words a bit and that stuff like that. You don't think I'm educated?
No, I think you're an idiot. Okay, what's the name of this children's book that promotes
projection again, Ian? You're very good at that, aren't you?
Well,
you have to look in the mirror and look in those eyes of yours very carefully. I think.
Look at what? Sorry.
I think you'll have to look at your eyes next time you look in the mirror and look very carefully.
That's not what you said. That's not what you said. What did you say? Free speech. What did you say?
About the psychology.
No. Look in the mirror. And what am I looking at in the mirror?
Look into your eyes and see the loser that you are, really. Okay. Even though you're on a radio station,
okay,
you've been on TV.
You sure you didn't mention my nose? You sure you didn't mention my nose?
No, see, you're getting paranoid now.
No, I'm not getting paranoid. I guess it's just hard to...
That's all that Zionist that you mentioned in the first place, Steve. Your Zionist paymasters, that you happened to mention first, and the viewers and the listeners...
because I know how the minds of paranoid right-wing nutjobs like you work. Tell me the name of this children's book.
I'm the most left-wing person going. I'm proud of being a Labour person.
Tell me, God
Almighty.
You're
there again.
There you go.
Your character analysis is lousy.
There you go. Tell me the name of
Labour.
Tell me the name of this...
Jeremy Corbyn. I want Jeremy Corbyn to be the next Prime Minister. So you're wrong.
So you're one of the anti-Semites that support the Labour Party. That's fine. Tell me the name of this children's book.
No, I'll tell you what. It's called A Rainbow Book of Celebration for Children.
Say that again. A rainbow book
it up.
of...
For the celebration of children. Hang on, let me just have another look. Hang on.
Yeah.
Googled it.
26. It's right for me. A Rainbow Celebration. Gays and lesbians in books for children.
A rainbow... right.
That's not a children's book.
Say that again. A rainbow celebration...
Children learn the ABCs in this book, featuring multicultural gay and English class, in which he talks about coming out.
What is that, Steve? What is
his family?
Steve, what is the book called? Because I've just Googled it. I can't find it. What age is that book aimed at?
Right, A Rainbow Celebration.
Yes, got that. Rainbow
Gays and lesbians.
Yes.
In books for children.
Right. Well, that's not right. Okay, here we go. A rainbow celebration.
You get a massive drop down after that.
I don't know what you mean by drop down. A rainbow celebration.
A drop down. Well, right. I don't mean what you mean.
And that's the name of a book, is it?
That's a whole series of books.
Right. Okay.
For children.
Okay. Right. Okay. So let me have a little look here. Okay. 1, 2, 3. A family counting book, ages 2 to 5. This is from the series that Steve was talking about. Children learn to count from 1 to 20 in this book, featuring multicultural gay and lesbian parented families.
That's not what you said, though, is it?
Sorry?
I said I'm reading it now because I'm looking at it as I talk.
Steve, I'm looking at it as I'm talking to it. Address this book. This is the book that comes up under that collection, A Rainbow Celebration. Tell me what's wrong with this book.
It doesn't. Top one that I'm reading is a multicultural gay and lesbian.
Okay, well, we're looking at slightly different ones, but that's the heading. Here's a book. Tell me what's wrong with this book. I'm
saying, well, let children be children. Yeah, don't shove it down their throats that early. Let them develop what they want to develop. Will you let me speak?
Hey, Steve, let me speak. Tell me what is wrong with this book, okay? 1, 2, 3, a family counting book. Children learn to count from 1 to 20 in this book, featuring multicultural gay and lesbian parented families. What's wrong with that?
That's not the book I was looking at. But
what's wrong with that? You're saying that book is okay? What I'm saying is, what I'm asking you is that book okay, featuring multicultural gay and lesbian parented families?
What I'm saying is...
Jesus, answer the question.
You're being like a politician.
No, I'm not. I'm not. No, and you're being like a politician not answering it. But the reason you're not answering it is not because you're too clever to avoid the question. It's because you're too thick to answer the question. Here's the thing. You're a nasty little
bigot.
There we
go with the insults again.
Steve,
and your projection...
Steve, you're a nasty little racist, homophobic, anti-Semitic liar. Everything you phoned up and said about yourself is a lie. You've not studied psychology, for crying out loud. Watching documentaries on YouTube is not studying psychology. I am so glad that my children are growing up in a world where there are books, where there are gay dads in it and lesbian mums in it. Because you know what? My boys have got friends at school and they've got 2 dads. They've got 2 dads, imagine. So I'm glad that image is portrayed in books so that it doesn't seem weird and it doesn't seem normal. And my children won't grow up to be bigoted, right-wing, racist, anti-Semitic, nasty pieces of work like you, Steve. And all this stuff about, projection, you just project. That's a lazy argument, man. That is a lazy argument. I'm going to give you the last word because I'm a nice guy. But I bet your last word is going to be full of bile and hate. Go on.
You're a coward. You're an absolute coward and a wuss because you have not let me explain who I am and where I come from, and you're totally wrong. So you are the thick one, and your listeners will know that. Anyone that's intelligent will know that, not including that last moron you were talking to, who, again, is projecting himself. Because he didn't even listen. All he had disagreed with was because I couldn't name a book, and that's all you're disagreeing with. Steve, could you do me... Steve, you're not on the air. I'm going to let you come back on the air. Steve, you're not on the air. They can't hear you, man. Steve, he's put the phone down. I was going to ask him if he'd do me a favour and piss off, but he's done it already. This is Talk Radio. Join me, Iain Lee, for interesting conversations you don't usually hear on the radio.
Week Monday, I get shoes.
Dolly Parton, I listen to her records all day long.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
That was the most profoundly upsetting call I've ever heard in my life.